It's Anastasia, but you can call me Nasty, and you're so welcome on my channel. According to new Russian law, this is how I cannot name everything what is happening in Ukraine now. So I will call it p***ets. This video will be divided into episodes: economical consequences and social psychological consequences. So feel free to scroll to any part you're interested in and press a like for my effort. The February's stop the world from recovering after COVID crisis. I don't want to talk again about prices increase because it's happening all over the world. And the minimum wage in Russia still stays the same. It's like 30,000 rubles or something for a month. And now this is hardly enough to buy just a food. Of course, prices of foreigner products increased dramatically. And even now the dollar already much lower in Russia. For some reason, the prices is still doubled. And it's very strange the dollar is so low in Russia. People even call it the fake rate because basically banks, they force us to sell all the dollars. But I'll talk about this later. Huge problem is what pharmacy shops are lack of some medicine. Like for example, my mom, she needs some medicine from abroad, but we just don't have it in the shops anymore. Our government promised us what we will produce these medicals in our country. Well, we hope. It has become really difficult to receive or send money abroad, especially in dollars. This is my own tragedy because before this is how I was getting my salary. Not now, of course. The SWIFT shutdown didn't affect all the banks in Russia, but it affects only the government banks. But the largest bank, which I've been using before, Tinkoff, now they have a commission. $200 for income by SWIFT if income is less than $20,000. So, what I was trying to say, some banks really makes a huge commission, and for example, if you receive through SWIFT like $100, they will take all of them as commission. Sounds like a great plan. Thank you so much. We still have banks which accept payment in dollars, but if you don't convert it immediately into rubles and you want to keep them as a dollars, you basically cannot do anything with them. We are not able to withdraw them or pay for something with them. They're just held hostage on the bank account, and that's it. And some banks charge a percentage for keeping them on your account. This is how banks force people to get rid of the dollar because you cannot use them anywhere. You can only sell them to the bank at a really low rate. And of course, you know about all these companies what have left Russia.
Мы отряды Путина просим запретить на территории России продажу вот этого бренда Louis Vuitton.
Some of them return, but with a new name, and some of them don't. But we still can buy some of their products from resellers. It is also impossible to use foreigner services if you are using for payment a Russian card. For example, my subscription to Epidemic Cloud was closed, and also Netflix is not working anymore. Of course, some people can pay and still use it if they are, for example, go to our country and create a new bank card, like foreigner bank card. Like, you can find a way, but that's really difficult to do. And about VPNs, Russia trying really hard to block all of them. Every day they block few the most popular VPN services, but on the next day they create a few new VPN services. And the last but not least, the flights inside the country and to our countries become much more impossible than it was before. Even before, not a lot of Russians can really afford to go somewhere by plane. Now it's much harder, and not only because of really expensive tickets, but also because it's really hard to find a plane which can go to the place you need it. You need to make a lot of stops. And of course, even if you will go abroad, how will you pay for yourself if your Visa and MasterCard is just not working? If you have some dollars on your account, you cannot withdraw it. Yeah, you can try to find some person who is selling dollars illegally, but I personally don't know how to do this, but I guess a lot of Russians know how to do this. Yeah, and also they use crypto somehow. I have no idea how they do it. Well, the one thing I understood is Russian people just like cockroaches and can survive in every condition, no matter how hard it becomes. Well, I will not even mention how much money our country spent on all of this, and how hard it's gonna be to spend any money on education and medicine in the next few years. Although there is only one improvement which happened after all the situation in February, and this is gasoline started to get cheaper in March. And it continues to do so. Prices are now at the level of 2016, which is crazy. It has fallen by 30%. And this is to the fact that it's summer, vacation time, and usually at this time gasoline starts to cost much more expensive. Of course, the reason for this is a huge decrease in export to our countries. In any case, we are increasingly becoming cut off from the rest of the world, and some people even like it.
Американская продукция.
Правильно, вот так ее.
Дайте мне что-нибудь. Дайте мне что-нибудь.
I personally and most of young people do not. I dreamed about being the citizen of the world. Now that I finished university, I finally was able to start traveling, but no. Talking about psychological and social consequences for Russia, while people in Ukraine struggling with trauma of losing houses and family members, might seem strange. The mental health of Ukrainians must be undermined by the horror and anxiety they face. But I believe we all know there is no winners in this situation, only suffer on both sides. So I want to share with you guys one of the main questions which Russian people ask after February. How do I talk about everything what is happening and don't destroy my family? On February 24th, Russia was divided into two camps, those who support the special military operation and those who are against it. And hate pours on both sides. Some are condemned for anti-war posts on social media and others for supporting Putin. If you support, you're a martyr and there is blood on your hands. If you don't support, you're a traitor to the motherland. Shut up and go to jail. And even for silence, everyone hates you. And this happens at work, in a family, everywhere. Many on on this basis cut their ties with their parents, the older generation, who already often watch only TV. And now, after turning off TikTok, Instagram and blocking non-state media, they're completely deprived of alternative sources of information.
Я рассказал в подробностях о том, что происходит. Отец ответил, что это ерунда, а русские спасают нас от нацистов, которые делают из мирных жителей живой щит. Собственно, какие инстаграм-посты? Мне не верит родной отец, зная, что я нахожусь здесь и все вижу своими глазами.
But the problem is not only in the split of family or society, but also in the fact what people who stood up and go to political rallies or who speak against everything which is happening right now in social media, they also receive hate, and also sanctions are affecting the same way everyone. Those who try to do something by themselves, to work on themselves, they felt sanctions much more. After all, the world turned against them, both in the Russia and abroad. So sanctions really create a tension inside the country. But if one part of people feel discouraged and left without income, then for our half, who is more protected and usually work in state service, this is another proof what everyone around us is our enemies, just like they say on TV, and they are rallying against the common enemy. And of course, I know all these problems what we've been talking before are not unique for only Russia. Everyone is panicking right now, right? I was unpleasantly surprised when YouTube recommended me to watch video How to Survive Atomic War. Spoiler, there is no way to survive. So I want to remind you one more time, it's okay to ask psychological help. After all, even if this situation is not happening in your country, it also affects you. Share your feelings with friends, psychologists, or in the comments down below. I read all of them. Thank you for watching. Please support my little channel with likes in the comments and subscribe to my social media where I active every day. I love you. Take care of yourself. Пока-пока.